All right. Welcome back to Molly and Missoula, where we have different episodes about different things. And although I no longer live in Missoula, we're keeping the name and we're bringing on different people. So I'm excited to have Carmen Kiewert on the podcast today, my best friend from home, best gal in the whole wide world. So if you want to introduce yourself.
I said I'm Carmen. We went to high school together and have been besties ever since. I go to school in Tacoma, Washington. I go to Pacific Lutheran University. I'm a student athlete, a finance major. Very excited to be here. So let's get into it.
Yay. Okay, I like to start every episode with how we met each other because I've only interviewed my college friends, so it's fun to be like, how did we meet on this big wide campus of 10,000 people? But I think our story is funnier. Yes.
Welcome to Tell It. You tell it best.
I feel like it is different because you have I've never heard your story of how you figured out who I was.
Yeah, you tell yours first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Carmen and I, Carmen's 2 years younger than me. And so we met when I was a junior in high school then. You were a freshman? Yeah. And she plays soccer. She's pretty good. She plays in college,
Okay.
whatever.
Yep.
And um I was working concessions for DECA at our high school football game, and Carmen came up and she was like, I'm Carmen, I'm a varsity soccer player. Something of those lines. And I was like, whoa, okay, ego.
What can I get for you? Do you want popcorn or pretzels?
Yeah. I was like, let's move on. And then didn't really think much about her and had no idea who she was. She was just younger than me in DECA too. And then we both ended up going to ICDC, the international competition for DECA, and still weren't that good of friends. And then we have some random pictures at Disney World together.
Mhm.
And all the ones that our advisor took of the group. Um, and then we both ran for office to lead the club, and Carmen was my vice president, and we bonded by throwing a really unsuccessful movie night at my house one summer. And the rest is
Remember
history.
that. Yeah, that's pretty good. I don't remember the night at the concession stand, I'll be honest, but I would say Molly was just kind of a figurehead at our high school, and that would be how I knew her. And then I didn't really get to fully know Molly like personally until I was, like she mentioned, her vice president, where we ran many unsuccessful campaigns, a slogan that's since died out, but I think we left
Carmen
a little bit of a
Kiewert.
legacy. But oh yeah, I was
Wait,
thinking
what was it?
T.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. I ran that. That was it died with me. Yeah.
I forgot about Carmen Cares. That's funny.
That is funny. But yeah, and the rest is history because fortunately we're stuck together for the rest of our lives now. So,
Unfortunately.
yeah. To start off, it's February 7th. So, what is like what are you most looking forward to for 2025? What are your goals of the year? What are the things you're looking
Yeah.
forward to?
So first of all, I just started my second semester of my junior year. So round the corner on my third year of college, which is pretty exciting. I'm taking my last marketing, my last finance, my last econ, and my last business class, which is also exciting, which means I'm almost done. So to finish
Yay.
strong would be the goal for my semester, make memories with my friends, really just enjoy my summer or my spring here and be prepared for my summer. I'm going to be interning in Chicago with JP Morgan, and so the goal would be to have an offer at the end of that and just do my darndest.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then fall for the end of the year, I will be finishing my senior season of soccer, so my fourth year here at PLU. So finishing strong, playing good minutes, and finishing up my courses. I'm just doing some gen eds and my capstone. So yeah, those are kind of the goals. Just finishing up my degree and hanging out, traveling, interning. Yeah.
Yeah, just soaking up every second. Senior year is so fun of just like kind of just living life and
Mhm.
prepping. Hopefully you'll be ready to go into the workforce and not have to do anything for that. So,
Yeah, fingers crossed.
hey, it's gonna be exciting.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so start off. You transferred to PLU your freshman year in the winter.
Yes.
So do you want to talk about like what it's like to be a transfer student and how like being a student athlete and just the transition of already going to college and meeting people and then having to redo that again and just kind of the your background of that.
Absolutely. I'm one of many people who decides that after high school they still want to play a sport, even though maybe it's just time to hang up the cleats and focus on their degree. But followed it out, and I'm glad I did. The first choice, I think Molly and I could both attest to the fact that our high school wasn't super helpful in preparing us to make a decision about college, as are a lot of high schools. And so I didn't ultimately make the best choice for myself in terms of just like the quality of school and where I was going, and I learned that pretty quickly. And needed to pivot. I met some great people that I'm still friends with, and I'm thankful for that experience. But I knew it wasn't going to be a place that I was going to be successful in for 4 years, and nor happy for 4 years. So reached out to some friends, had some other people from our school that went here. Molly's older brother went to school here, and so that was sort of a connection. And my own brother lives 45 minutes north of here, and he was having his first baby at the time, and so stars kind of aligned. I had also already talked to the coach here previous to my high school graduation, and so it just kind of made sense to come here. And in terms of like the application part of that is a hassle, unenrolling, and the like transfer portal and things like that is tough for an athlete, but it's a lot more streamlined now. So that's sort of easy, and you get acclimated to your team setting and your coaching style, and those are all things that athletes are accustomed to. In terms of the academics, that part was tough. I had to transfer over like my high school transcript, my college transcripts, write a couple more essays, talk to some advisors, things like that, and then just get through the waiting game. I think that was the toughest part. I was at home for a number of weeks between the transfers, and that was tough of just like you left one thing, you're going to somewhere you're not really certain of. Now you're just kind of twiddling your thumbs, hoping it all works out, hoping you made the right choice. I think that was a tough position to be in. And then once I got here, everything just kind of fell into place. Classes were good, people were good, super welcoming environment. Being close to my brother was really nice. Um, yeah, if that answers the question, I don't know if there's anything else you want me to touch on.
No, you're good. What has been your favorite memory at PLU so far?
Oh, interesting. Memory at PLU. I would say just like various like small moments, getting to know people. I think a full circle of like some people that I had in my intro classes that I now have in my upper level division classes that I've become really good friends with. Oh, you're putting me on the spot
I
here.
know.
Yeah.
There's prizes.
I would say joining clubs. I've really gotten involved. One of my favorite things is our investment club and making new friends outside of athletics there, and just growing my professional expertise. I was able to give a little like presentation on tips and tricks for getting internships. That was a really cool moment to have transferred here and not have known what I wanted to do and kind of progress in my academic and professional career. And then being able to teach underclassmen and younger students like how to professionalize their resume and speak professionally in interviews and things like that was a really full circle moment for me. I think that's a good memory.
Yeah, that's really good. Speaking of like helping people get internships and doing that type of work,
Mhm.
what you just got a job or an internship with JP Morgan. Sorry, not to not to jump ahead, but
Knock on wood.
um Carmen's interning with JP Morgan in Chicago this summer. So what were some things that you did and some advice maybe for people interning or looking for internships, applying for internships that you found successful over your journey? Because I know you applied to a few different companies.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my sort of strategy, I guess, was to cast a wide net and then hope you catch something big, which is ultimately what ended up happening. I applied at a lot of different places, a wide variety of big firms, small firms, medium-sized, local, non-local, and just seeing what sticks, finding a company that works with you, your morals, your timing, your location, your interests. I think the biggest piece of advice I could give was find something you're passionate about because the more passionate you have, like the more genuine interest you'll have in what you're doing. And that really shows because you'll be more interested to apply, to learn about the position, to learn about the location, to pay attention to your classes. And doing all of those things, like getting involved and being in clubs, it just aids to the process. Joining clubs and gaining experiences, growing your professional network, things like that. You just become so much more interested in what you're doing, and that shows. And I think refining your professional skill set, technical and like soft skills, is always super helpful. Anybody could tell you that, but I think the piece of it that is probably not talked about is like the passion and the interest and the excitement that you can have and show a recruiter or a potential employer that, no, I'm really excited about this job. I don't just need a place to work this summer. I really want to work there.
Yeah.
And you want me to work there because I've worked my ass off and I am well fit for this position. So I think that's maybe a niche piece of advice that I could share.
Yeah. What were like the interview processes like? Because every big company is different. I know for Big Four, they were all pretty structured the same,
Mhm.
but what were like Wall Street interviews like?
Yeah, JP Morgan specifically, they have the super days, and that was probably, I mean, probably recognize that term. You go to like an informational Zoom session after completing your hire view, which are the recorded. You answer like 5 or 6 questions, record the video, send it in after submitting your resume, of course. And after that, you go to an informational Zoom session, and then after that are two back-to-back interviews via Zoom, 25 minutes apiece with two different recruiters. And they ask you a whole host of questions, and then you're analyzed based on your answers. And 2 weeks later, you either get an email that you did not get the position or a phone call that you did. And I was fortunate enough to get a phone call. So,
Thank God.
yes, right.
That's fun. Do you interview with recruiters or with like managers in your
With recruiters, no, I think with management, yeah. So the recruiters set you up in the process and they give you all the information and they pass along your resume and the details in terms of interview times. But yeah, you interview with management um, and then like talent acquisition, some of those titles as well.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
fun. All a fun time, very
Yeah.
stressful, very just all over the place, but it all works out in the end. And I think that, like you said, you kind of end up where you are meant to be in general. And hopefully that works out for you when you actually are working there. But I think that recruiters and it's like going through sorority recruitment, like the mutual selection process of like
Yeah.
you actually usually end up with something. If you show your passion, you end up somewhere that you will be happy or than if you went with maybe somewhere else or a different opportunity. But yeah, it's definitely an exciting time. Is there anything that you're like most excited about for the internship?
Yeah. Meeting new people, diving headfirst into the financial or finance industry. I've been a finance major obviously for the last couple of years now, and I'm in the investment club here and the finance club, but I don't have hands-on
Mhm.
like Wall Street finance experience. So I think that is one of the things I'm most excited for. And then also just to live in a new city. Like you said, I'll be in Chicago this summer. So living on my own, being in a
Can't wait
big
to come
city.
visit.
Hey. So I think those two things combined, the experience and then also the experience of living in a new city as well.
Yeah, I think that that is the most exciting part because growing up in a small town,
Hmm.
just you never know what's out there until you leave, and then you
Absolutely.
can always go back. So yeah, we've talked about that a lot during our friendship, but
In grave detail.
yeah, it's crazy. It's funny. For Neith today at work, he was like, "Did you actually choose to move here?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I mean, everybody got to choose what location they applied to. And he was like, "Okay." It's like, "Yeah, all right. Yeah. But no, that's gonna be so exciting. And just there's so much opportunity for living in a huge, huge city like Chicago.
Mhm.
And hopefully some no non-positive times this
Yes.
summer there. That was a fun, adventurous 3 days that we had. So hopefully
Yeah.
it's less like that and more just like the one day we had that was,
Yes. Yeah.
oh gosh. Just the overall life in the big city. What is the draw to that? Because I
Mm.
think this goes back to what we talk about a lot during our time, but from like the small town slash traveling to big cities and
Oh,
different things. What are you like? What's the draw to go to a big city instead of staying local or instead of just going staying in Seattle or any of those places?
yeah, I think you answered that question a little in the preface, is we come from a very small place. Our town is around 5,000 people, one lane both ways, one grocery store.
Eight
And
roundabouts.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, and so just something new. I don't want to live that lifestyle the rest of my life. In my adolescence and like early adult age, I've been really fortunate to travel fairly extensively in the States and a couple times abroad. And so I've seen cities, different lifestyles, cultures, and I really see the appeal of doing something different. I have family on the East Coast, and so that's a huge draw, being near them. Yeah, I don't want the same thing. I've lived here, my college town, Tacoma, for what will be 4 years shortly. And I also want something new from that. And I think also you have to follow opportunity and you have to go where that strikes. And that happens to be in bigger cities most commonly. I want to go work in a tall building, live a big city life, and I can't do that in small town USA. So
Nope. But it is cheaper to live in small town USA.
it very
Yeah.
much is.
Slash you'll be able to find housing maybe easier too.
Yeah, hey, if any of your listeners have apartments for rental in Chicago, yep,
Yeah. Email me and we'll figure something out.
correct.
Yeah. I'll send you Carmen's LinkedIn.
Perfect.
Yeah. We'll get you a place.
Sounds
Yeah.
good.
Oh my gosh. So we talked a lot about your college experience and about just how you transferred in making that just like PLU your new home. And I think it's a little bit easier as a college athlete of making that transition of having a team and having those people kind
Yeah.
of already built into your like network and your family, your team family dynamic. What is some advice on moving to college, making friends, just outside of those spaces? What would be your advice to do so?
Yeah, great question. I think you're 100% right. It is much easier, especially at a D3, a smaller school. There is very much an athlete community, kind of all in it together, so to speak. And if you're an athlete, you're a friendly face. So I think that was kind of the mantra I went in with, is that anybody is a friend, everybody is a friend. There's definitely a PLU culture on campus that loots open doors, let's make it happen. Like it's one big family here, especially within the athletes. And so that was really comforting to just buy into that. And it may not always be true at every moment, of course, but I kind of just drank the Kool-Aid and went with it. The School of Business here is also sort of one big family because we all end up in similar rotations of classes. I pretty much like my one of my marketing classes this year is the same class roster as last semester. So we all know each other, we're all very comfortable, we're all willing to share a conversation. I think in terms of making friends, not being an athlete or not being in a campus that has a community is just joining clubs, being open to meeting people, sitting next to someone new at dinner or at lunch or whatever it is, being open to helping people. I think more often than not, it's hard to ask for help, but it's easy to offer it. Like someone's in a class, oh yeah, I have that assignment. Yeah, you want to study together. Being willing to help someone else or to go out of your way to make a friend. Because everyone's kind of in the same shoes. We all don't really have a ton of friends. We're all on the same campus. So just being warm, being welcoming, knowing that everyone else is also looking for someone to hang out with.
Yeah. That's a good advice. I've never thought of it that way of like always be the one to offer help. It's definitely 100% true, but like actively thinking about that is really awesome advice. I think the another thing to add to it is like find the person sitting by themselves and just go sit by them. I think,
Yeah, that's a good one.
yeah, I don't know. Some people are just scared to talk, but if you go to a new class, just like go sit by some stranger,
Yeah.
and that's how some of the greatest friendships are made. So I think
Absolutely.
it's fun.
Yeah. I think the last thing I would say is be thoughtful too. Like if someone mentions that they have something going on, try to remember it and maybe ask about it next time you see them. Just
Mm.
build those bonds. Be like intentional with um what you like say and do around people. So
Yeah. Same with professors too. I think
yeah.
that's a really good way to bond with them and make an impression that you then have like a mentorship relationship slash like friendship
Mhm.
instead of just them giving you a grade and assignment. And then,
Yeah, I totally agree.
yeah, it's a wild time, college. Absolutely wild. I am going back to Missoula when I go home.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I didn't tell you that part, but I'm so excited. I
I
don't know.
bet.
I'm excited for you to like be able to go back and visit PLU and like have
Yeah.
reunions with your friends. And it's a little bit different of a college atmosphere,
Mean.
a bigger school, but I think it will still be so fun to just be able to, and graduating early, like going back and visiting your friends that are going the extra semester, and
Yeah.
just it's gonna be so fun. What is your, if you could do any job or work for any company, what would be the end goal in your career?
That's such a good question. I don't know that I have a definitive answer just because I haven't started my career yet. Give me a couple years time, but I think something with athletics, something fun. Working, oh, actually, no. Dream job would be to officiate, to be like a broadcaster, doing the like sports announcements during a football game or a soccer game or something. I do that as a joke. I think you have been around where I'll officiate a game. Kind of ironically to a point of annoyance, but you get a good laugh the first few moments. Couple funny lines in there. I think doing something somewhat silly like that with a
Mm,
creative spin, being an athlete and growing up around it, it'd be fun to work in it as well. So I think
yeah.
that'd be a fun job.
I've never heard you say that. That's
Yeah.
crazy. Whoa. I could see you in the pantsuit on the sidelines. What up? Carmen on the mic. A
Yeah.
little more
I
professional than that, but that would be so cool. What would
think it'd be fun.
you work for? Or dream sporting event?
Mhm. World Series, obviously, Mariners when they make it. If they ever make
Please.
it into the
Let
playoffs, geez.
2025 be our year, please.
Right. I think, yeah, maybe World Series or I think baseball. I think baseball would be the most fun.
Would you ever do like an Olympic game for the soccer?
Oh, that would be cool. Okay, yeah, I wasn't even thinking Olympics, but yeah, Olympics would be sick.
All right.
Sorry.
Add them to the dock. Olympics after the World Series.
We'll
Or
just do them back to back. It'll be okay.
yeah, you could, honestly, because the World Series are in the fall.
Yeah,
That just sounds like pure bliss.
there we go.
Uh,
Yeah, World Series are in the fall. I was like, yeah,
yeah, I know. I had to think about it, and I was like, yeah,
yeah.
yep, yep, yep. I don't think this year's going to be the Mariners' year to go to the World Series because they're kind of trading away our team slash
Maybe in our lifetime though.
using our budget poorly. Maybe they could give some finance advice.
Yeah,
But we did. We got some new coaching staff.
we did.
The wheels are turning. We'll see them in Chicago. Hopefully
Hmm.
they beat the Cubs. Or if they don't, we get to sing the Cubs song.
I'm either way. I don't know. That's gonna be a tough one for me.
Yeah, you got to root for the Mariners. You
Yeah,
can't root for the Cubs.
I know. I'll have to
But
bring a new shirt with me.
yeah, you will for that one event.
Yep.
He goes to Spain after, brings a Mariners shirt because she went to one game. I think this is a good topic to talk about. I think that as the year changes and different things and different life events happen, morals are always a very
Hmm.
little flexible sometimes. So, what is moving to school, going to a different city, a big city, moving across the country to Arizona when you went? What has been something that has helped you like find yourself as an adult and also just concrete your morals? I think that especially our generation, maybe more so, isn't as good at sticking to things that they believe and actually knowing why they believe those things and continuing to make those decisions based off of the beliefs that you have ingrained in you. And so, do you want to talk a little bit about kind of how you found your adult self in making those decisions and what decisions kind of helped to get you to where you are, and then how you stay strong in your morals.
Yeah, I'll take that in two parts.
Yeah.
So first, the moral standpoint. I would say like knowing yourself is huge. Knowing the principles you stand upon and standing firmly in that. And I don't mean that in the sense that you can never change your mind or you can never change the things you believe in or grow in your belief systems, but understanding at the core who you are and what you believe in, whether that's formed by how you grew up, your parents, individual experiences, all of the above. Just knowing what you believe in and being willing to stand upon it, even if it's different than others, which is a hard thing to do, I think, specifically in our generation, like followers and influencers and wanting to be friends and not wanting to ruffle feathers is a hard thing. But just knowing who you are and being unapologetically yourself. Um, I think that would be the moral answer, or the answer to the moral question that I have. Secondly, finding yourself in college, I would answer again with being unapologetically yourself, doing things that you enjoy and seeing who will join you. And if you have to do that alone for a little while, then do it alone because you enjoy it. For me, I'm an ultra nerd. I love my nerd clubs. Like I said, I'm in the investment club, finance club, business club, list goes on. But
Loser.
yeah,
Just kidding.
yeah, I wear my spectacles, I wear them proudly. But
Proud.
I've been unapologetically that. Like I've been willing to go to all the meetings, even when it means missing out on like a hangout with the girls or whatever it is. And being willing to stay in to do homework and like being a student is very valuable in my life, and I put that at a high standpoint. And I think, like I said, just being unapologetically yourself and the people that appreciate you and that find you fun and lovable and all of those things that want to be around you and spend their time with you, they will come to you and you will come to them. And people that fall off or don't like it or don't appreciate you aren't worth your time. So I think that's huge for finding yourself. I would say another thing is just following your interests. And again, like if you have to do that alone, do it alone for a little while. You'll find people that share common interests or they just want to go do things you want to do because you're doing them. So I
Mhm.
think that is it's a really hard thing to be able to say, no, I want to do this because I want to do it. And if you want to come with, come with. And if you don't, don't. Um, and just being willing to, again, stand on your own principles, stand with yourself, by yourself moving forward, which might be a little bit of an uncommon opinion. Yeah, and then I think also like find your people, find your crowd, people who have similar morals, similar ideals to you also really helps keep you in check. If you have a best friend who is constantly like being the devil on your shoulder, it might not go so good. You might compromise your morals, or you might make a choice you regret later, or you may find that that's good for you and that you change the way you think. And then I think lastly would be about finding balance. Yes, I'm a student. Yes, I'm an athlete. But I also like to have fun. I do spend my weekends like most other college students. Um,
Stravaing.
sorry.
Using Strava is how you spend your.
Yes. Oh, well, that'll be the story I tell. That's my favorite moment at PLU. Yes.
Oh gosh.
Anyway, finding balance. So whether you work out in the morning from drinking the night before, like whatever it is, just finding balance in your life of having fun, hanging out with your friends, prioritizing yourself, I think are really important. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I would agree. I think that the part of having people that you surround yourself with the similar morals is so important too. Of even if you have friends that like have a little bit different morals, you need to find people that have enough of the similar
Mhm.
morals of like you're not going to be like peer pressured to do things that you're uncomfortable doing, and also just those people will take you out of your comfort zone, but they'll do it in a respectful and like safe way instead of doing
Yeah.
it. Yeah, you need to do this so that because we're friends, or any like just not super great ways to do that. So I think that that's a good way to do so. Um, but yeah, it's not good to have people. It's good to have people around you with different morals because you learn
Yes.
from them and you grow from them. But I think it helps to concrete your morals maybe a little bit more too when you see other people doing things and you're just a little question of kind of how they're going about things, but it's always a good way to learn and concrete your morals a little bit more and also to just have some new life experiences. But yeah, maybe this is our last question. What's your favorite memory of our friendship?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Okay, top five. Top five.
We're gonna be here all day. I think, see what comes to mind. One of our just many baking fails. We bake a lot. We fail a lot. I would say our most recent cake would be a good one. We were doing really, really good. Our icing, which is the our usual pitfall, was going great.
Yeah,
And we failed at the baking portion of it, which is usually
that
the
was
easy
on me.
part. Team effort.
Didn't
It's a team
press
effort.
pans very well.
We'll go back to our normal roles next year. I'd say that. I would say our trip to Chicago and New York for sure is definitely, I think, the top one. Had a couple crazy encounters, a little sickness.
I
Um,
did puke on the Chicago River Walk twice,
that's
but
okay. Okay. I ran in the rain to Walgreens to get Pepto-Bismol.
no,
Yes, you were asleep on the couch of the Embassy Suites.
you got Pepto-Bismol?
I don't know, whatever I got
Oh,
you.
I was like,
I
no,
don't know what
shit.
it was.
It's
Sorry.
something like anti-nausea or something.
Oh, yeah.
Pepto-Bismol makes you poop.
Oh, whatever anti-sickness
I was
medication.
like, it sounds like I just spent the whole day pooping.
Sorry. Um, let's see. I would say gotta be like a Deca thing for sure. Um,
The Space
oh,
Needle.
Space Needle.
Yeah,
Yep. Yeah, Space Needle. That was fun.
that was cool. We got to go like the world was shutting down. It was March like 7th or something, and
Yeah,
nobody was in Seattle, which I don't think we're ever gonna experience in our life ever again like that.
I know.
But we were in the Space Needle after it got renovated for like an hour, hour and a half. I don't even know how long we were there. But yeah, that floor has never seen so many good people laying on it.
Yeah, that was a good time. Those are the ones that come to mind right now, at least.
Okay. I'm gonna add in there the video of us making elevator things in the yolks.
Oh, yes.
Every
Yes.
every year I get that memory. It just, oh my gosh, my smile just gets so big. It's so funny. We're so silly. It's stupid, but just so good.
That seems to be a common thing. Just singing, watching the sunset, doing something stupid.
Hmm. Yeah, agreed. I think that just, I don't know, finding people that are similar in your values, but also just the silliest people
Hmm.
and have what you can like find good jokes about. And I think our friendship is a very good encapsulation of that.
Yeah.
And we can just call each other and rant about like random things for hours and be like, yeah, I agree. Thank you so much for coming on the first episode of the year, for bringing her back, for making her better, and the post grad life, and getting to talk to people that mean a lot to me and also just have a lot of wisdom to share. So thanks for being on the podcast. Make sure to come back for the next one and follow Carmen on LinkedIn. If you have any Chicago housing opportunities,
Let me know.
hit me up.